Today, we're going to cover what everyone has been asking for me to talk about, which is how do I get attendees to actually show up to our events? All right, let's get started. I get this email nearly every week, and it says, Ben, I'm freaking out. How do I drive more RSVPs? Or Ben, can you help me? I need more ticket sales. Or oh geez, we just haven't gotten enough people to RSVP. I'm nervous about not filling the room. Have you been there? I definitely have. I know how this feels. It's terrifying, right? You've spent all this time planning and thinking about how to create the perfect event, and you just aren't able to actually get people to RSVP or to attend. Now, there might be a lot of reasons for this, and it could be something like your distribution mechanisms. It could be the timing of the event. It could be that the people just aren't interested. But what I've found more often than not, that when I look at people's messaging, and I look at their promotional material, they've usually missed a couple things. They usually haven't really gotten people to understand the value of their event. And so what I've done is I've created a checklist that I use for my events, and I often communicate and convey to the people who are asking me how they fill their events. A checklist that helps them understand how to communicate and message the value of their event. And so what I want to do is I want to walk you through this checklist, and I think what you'll find is that if you go through this checklist step by step and make sure to include each of these points in each of your communications around your event, you're going to see a huge uptick in actual attendance. So let's walk through it together. I call this checklist GIVE, give. And the reason I call it that is because you're looking to give people a reason to actually show up. Okay, so let's start off with G. G stands for guests. This is actually the most important thing you can focus on. Who else is going to be there? In a lot of emails that I write, I'll say something like, hey, I hope you'll show up to this event. We're gonna have a great crowd. And guests are one of the prime things that we see driving clicks or conversions on pages. That's why you'll often see people list their sponsors or their speakers or the other guests that'll be attending an event. People want to meet other people at events. We have a human drive to bond. So making sure people understand who else is going to be there is a really big deal in your promotion. The next one is I, inspiration. Inspiration is what they're going to learn or what is going to inspire them to change. How will they transform into a future version of themselves by attending your event? Now, this can often be communicated with who's going to be speaking with them, what the content at the event will be, what they're going to learn or understand by going to your event, or how inspiring the music or the artwork at the event will be. I often find that people spend time on things because of who they will become as a result of it. So if you can communicate that, very, very powerful. The next one is really powerful. This is V for validation. Now, especially in today's day and age, people define themselves not necessarily by what they have, but instead by what they do. It's quite existential, right? And so, I often find that by telling people that this event is going to validate their identity or show them that, you can really drive attendance and action. Let's give some quick examples just to make sure you understand this one. It's pretty easy when you see a band like Fish. People who identify as Fish heads, they validate that identity by making sure to go to every single Fish show. And similarly, if you were to throw an event for real estate agents, something you could do is say, this is a gathering for the top real estate agents in the world. And you better believe that someone who considers themselves to be a top or great real estate agent, they're going to be there, so they validate that identity. It's a pretty powerful concept. It really kind of almost plays with FOMO. Speaking of FOMO, E is the last one. E's a really interesting one. It's the experience, right? What are you giving them? What is the memory that they're probably going to walk away with? And this could be an experience of taste, or of sight, or of smell, something they might hear, right? Experience often has a lot to do with senses. So communicating how this is going to be a really interesting experience for them, something that they might walk away with a great pass-along story from, that's something that you're really going to want to communicate early and often in your event communication. By the way, if you're interested in hearing more about pass-along stories, make sure to check out that video. I walk through how to build a pass-along story from scratch. Okay, so that's what it is, GIVE. You want to make sure to layer in each of those different value propositions into each of your event communications. And if you're doing that, if you're actually making sure to hit each one of those, the next step is to layer in frequency and urgency. Those are two really powerful drivers for getting people to attend your events. Frequency, you're usually looking to notify people weekly leading up to the event, and you'd be surprised. People don't mind hearing from you as long as it's something useful and as long as it's something relevant to them. And of course, if someone unsubscribes, make sure to unsubscribe them, right? So frequency is a great way to make sure to get people to remember your event. And urgency. Urgency is one of the most powerful techniques that I've seen in terms of driving ticket sales. And you can use urgency in things like early bird sales end soon. Or you can say something like, we're almost full, or this is going to be a really important event for you to attend, right? Drive that point home with frequency and urgency, and make sure in all your communications to go through that checklist, GIVE. And if you have any ideas or things that you found to be effective, please leave comments in the section below. We love to hear ideas. It's been a real kick to see how people have responded to these videos. And make sure to check out our next run of show. I'll see you next time. If you felt like this episode made you much smarter than when you started watching it, make sure to check out other episodes of Run of Show Weekly, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.